All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Coffee Run. New week. Here we are. Lots going on. I have so much to talk about today. I'm not sure I can get it all in, but here we go. Let's jump on in. We have a new paycheck series starting. We've got the Super Bowl coming up. We have all sorts of things to talk about. So let's hop on into it here. First things first, the Super Bowl matchup. What a couple of games yesterday, huh? Both to me were surprising in different ways. Like, I did not. If I were a betting man, and I'm not, I don't bet on sports because I'm not as smart as Chris. Chris is a good sports bettor. I'm not a good sports bettor. I'm too invested in the teams, and I'm too much of a fanboy to bet sports. I also don't have a what do you call that? A matrix or a whatever data collection. I had nothing, right? To me, it's like I hate Baltimore. I'm not going for Baltimore. That's how I bet, right? So I don't do it. I did not see the Chiefs winning that game. I mean, the Chiefs to me this year they've been like pretenders all year. But like, I mean, I don't want to jump the gun. We have 2 weeks to get ready for this game. But my God, how good of a coach is Andy Reid? Like, seriously, lose all your weapons, come back, and okay, we're going to be a defense-focused team. We're going to be fine. Mahomes will take care of it. And he figures out a way. They look like crap most of the year. And like, here they come, right? When it's time, that team's ready to play, man. That is one good coach over there. So I don't know how you can bet against the Chiefs. And I'm glad, because I'm not a Baltimore fan even a little bit. So I'm super happy the Chiefs won. The second game, wow. Now, you know I'm not a San Francisco fan. I was joking with Jen and some of the people in chat yesterday. Like, I can't ever root for a rival. But San Fran is not a dislikable team. Like, you got to love CMC. You got to love the Purdy story. It's a good team, all right? And a lot of good guys on it. I just can't root for them because of the Hawks rivals, right? But that's twice in a row now where and again, I would have bet against the Niners. I bet against the Niners both last week and this week. I thought Green Bay was the better team. They were more ready to play than the Niners were last week. And they were on a roll. The Lions, I thought, had a shot because their defense is so good. I thought they had a shot to take them out. And they took their shot, and they blew it. Both teams, both the Packers and the Lions, melted down in the end of the game. And it just shows you, like, what A, experience does, and B, what experience coaching does. And I think that was highlighted in both games yesterday. The Niners outcoached the Lions. I mean, and it wasn't even close. Like that, Dan Campbell made some of the stupidest decisions you'll ever see yesterday, and he owns it. He's like, "Hey, that's the way we play. I'm not gonna, walk that back, going for it on fourth down twice with field goals. That's the game. Those decisions are the game, and that whole game hinged on, okay, let's not go for a field goal, right from the 20. Let's go for it on fourth down, blow it." 2 plays later, it's that 55-yard bomb that bounces off. Guy should have caught it anyway. The defender should have caught the ball. He misses it off his face mask, right into Samuel's hands at the 5-yard line, and boom, just like that. Instead of being up by 3 scores, you're only up by a field goal. Like in 2 plays, that happens, right? I want you to think about that in terms of craps and what we talk about here on our show all the time. That is literally, I'm going to go through it. We talk about our approach to the game. I'm going to bring him back, and we're going to talk about what he did yesterday, what that team did yesterday in terms of how we play. But it was interesting. I don't think the Niners. I think the Niners are lucky to have gotten out of that one. They were lucky that they played against the Lions, because the Lions did the SOL yesterday. They did the same old Lions, made a mistake, a couple of bad calls. And they escaped with that one. It was one of those games where I thought the Lions, for what was it, 46 minutes, were the better team, right? For like moments of whatever, Campbell screws that thing up. But you know what? The better coach team, they're better prepared. They're ready. They're just like, hey, they didn't panic. They sat in there like, well, the game's going to come to us or it's not. And the Niners never changed anything. They just kind of kept plowing on through. The Lions looked like they were the ones that were trying to figure shit out when they were up. That's coaching. That's coaching. It's experience. It's all of it. So, yeah, the Niners made the NFC West look proud, I guess, right? I have to say that, Jen. So there you go. And yeah, I will. And like I said, I won't bet on sports because I get too mentally invested in it. All right, other things to talk about. I put out Justice Jen's strategy. Finally, I forgot this video. Remember when Jen was here in the house and we filmed the bubble crap strategy? And we're like, hey, let's finally show the world what your bubble crap strategy looks like. When we sat here and did it, Jen was sick, I think, or whatever. The dog was here making it sneeze and stuff. We had fun, right? We had a good time. I had that really, and we did her strategy, and then we did the cum ladder thing, and the cum ladder went like monstrosity gangbusters crazy. And I had that video uploaded to YouTube, and I forgot about it. I forgot that I'd uploaded it. I never turned it on. And so, let me turn the video on. I turned the video on, and it generated a lot of, I don't say controversy, but a lot of comments. There was like a 2-second segment in that video where she's like, hey, let's take the bets down. Like, you can't, they're contract bets. And then Jen said something to the effect of like, well, it's a machine. If you have to leave, they would let you take your bets down. Well, a bunch of people in the comments are like, no, you can't do that. They're contracts. I'm like, yeah, I know they're contracts, but it's a machine. So I went and asked, just because I wanted to know because there's a thing there, right? Where at a real craps table, if you have a pass line bet and for some reason you're asked to leave the table, whatever, you're being a jerk or whatever, for whatever reason you're being asked to leave, or you have a heart attack or something, they would give you your bet back, right? It'd be like, okay, the box person goes, fine, give them their money. That's a decision that they can make. The machine, I don't know, can make that decision. So I asked 2 people that I trust. One is David at Casino Quest. David knows the manufacturers of the bubble craps machines, right? He knows who they are. He's talked to them about other things for his own and for us. The word is from him officially, you cannot ever, as a player, ever take down those bets. You cannot cash out. There's nothing you can do. Once a cum bet is set on a bubble craps machine, it is set forever. There's nothing you can do. There's no facility for a player to remove the bets. And I can vouch for that because Jen and I played in Kansas City bubble craps, and I said, let me try that thing. And I tried it, and of course it wouldn't let me have my money back. So I know that the machines won't do it. Now, in the case where there's an emergency of some kind or a machine malfunction, one of those 2 things, machine malfunctions or an emergency, a tech can come over, unlock, open the machine, press a button, cancels all the bets and cashes out the card. That's the only way to get those bets off a table, off of the virtual table on a bubble craps, is if a tech comes over and opens the lid and puts in a code and gives back the money. I also asked Michael Shackelford the same question because Michael Shackelford, as you know, you probably know this. He's the math guy. He's the Wizard of Odds. His employment, or a big part of his employment, is working for game manufacturers, not ETGs so much. Some slot machine companies, but he works in vetting and play testing, table games, and that kind of thing. So he's involved with all the companies. He said flat out, I don't know. He's like, I'm going to qualify the answer with, I don't know the answer to this. I've never encountered it. He's like, I don't even think for health concern they would do it for you. But he's like, I agree. The only way to get it is to open the machine and have somebody with a access code press the button. So there's the answer. The official answer is, without getting somebody from Interblock on with me to answer the question, you cannot ever take those bets down, ever, yourself as a player. There's no way to do it. Somebody has to come do it for you. So if there was this magical world where you could play and play and play and then pull the bets down, it doesn't exist except for one time a day. And only then you got to have somebody do it for you that works there. And that would never be a tenable way to do it. So that's the actual answer for it. I went and asked the experts or the people I would trust to know the actual answers because they know the companies, right? And that's the answer there. So just so you know, we all knew it, I think. Those are contracts, just like they're on a real table. They can be forgiven under very extreme circumstances, but both cases either requires a box person to release the money or a tech who has to get approval to release the money. And that's the only way out of there. So there's that. I think, Chris from Dice DGen, you're here in the chat. I saw you there. Confirm with me, please. Are you coming on Thursday? I think I'm going to get DGen for this week's Around the Table, which is a good show, by the way. Thursday night, catch it. What do you call it? I think Skill and Luck, Dylan, will also be joining me maybe next week, week after. Possible to get him out here. So if you want to do it, do it. If you want to be on that show with me, I would love it. I mean, I would love anybody come on there. And you saw what it was, right? Random audience questions. And just me and Chris now will be bullshitting about the answers to questions. And I will not take any gambling or craps questions from you. We're going to take things like, why is Philly better than New York? Right? We'll let Chris talk about why Philly's better than New York for an hour. That'd be fun. Jen says not a legal contract. Well, maybe not. However, the game rules are the game rules. So the game does not have a way for you to pull your bets. So again, without somebody physically doing it for you, there's no way to do it. The legality of the contract notwithstanding, the only way to release you from those bets is for a person with a key and a code to come and do it for you. You cannot do it yourself. So that's the crux of it, right? And I think the arguments that came out of that were like, hey, if that was a thing, you could just set a bunch of come bets and then pull them down. Set a bunch of come bets and pull them down, right? And basically play for the 7 and 11 all day long and win it. You can't do that. That's the thing. That machine will not let you do it. And that was the thing. Like 5 or 6 people jumped in and like, hey, you can't do it. And like, I don't know if you can do it or not. So that's the answer. Legal or not, that is the rules of the game. When you engage in that game, it does have a rule sheet that tells you what the rules are. Those bets are not returnable. So contract bet in form of gameplay. So there it is. All right, daily paycheck. Where are we? Let's go take a look real quick. I'm gonna just go a screen ahead here. So far, so bueno. We're doing all right. I think my totals are wrong. Oh no, we're not. Here's where we are. Let me get my glasses on. The odds maker was 12 and 8, like the Storm. 2 very different 12 and 8s. Look at the bottom here. I'm gonna go down here. 2 very different 60% wins, right? 60% win rate for the odds maker, 60% win rate for the Storm. The odds maker showed profit. The Storm did not. Okay. The Storm was a very unhappy month. The odds maker was kind of an okay month. I like the odds maker. We did all right with it. We had probably 6 tiny losses. We had 2 ass kickings. 2 that were really, really, really bad. Bad decision-making by me, right? I think they did both pretty good. I did not like playing the Storm. The Storm, I felt like never had a chance to win big money because it was like all this work to get set up and then we never made any money after getting set up. The odds maker at least has got a profit plan kind of built into it. And we worked it hard over the course of the month to get to a point where we had the win goal loss limits right. And I think that thing, had I played it that way the whole month, that 640 is probably about $1,200, right? We just misplayed it. We learned a little bit with that one. Overall, though, we've doubled our money. We started with 10 grand. We're at about 11 or $2,100 now. We lost a little bit of ground because of the ATS, but so far paycheck is doing okay. The odds maker was I think a good one. I think it deserves another run at some point. I'm doing win craps work with it right now to kind of tweak it. You'll be interested to know, I think I can do this. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Give me a second here to do this. Parallels. I want to show you something. While this is loading up here, give me a second. Let's bring this over. I'm going to load up. I'm going to show you how the odds maker has done in win craps. Let's get this thing going here. Let's see. Come on, you. Give me a second here. All right, there it is. I ran the odds maker in 4 different forms against all the rolls. So what I've got here in WinCraps, if I do action, dice roll files, and I do file, I'm not sure why it's not remembering me, but we're going to take the DPC rolls. This is going to be not today's rolls, but up to today, 5,500 rolls that I've done on the Daily Paycheck show. Every roll we've ever done on that show. If I set up a new game, the numbers won't change, but let's say if I save my game now, no. Okay, and let's just do a quick run, just so you can see it. Not with the red cross. The red cross, I need to take that guy off because he's a mess. Status boxes, remove him. Yes. Okay, let's run our guys here. Whoops, stop. What'd I do? They're not turned on. Options, activate all the scripts. Let's run it. Booyah. Okay, here we go. We're gonna run the 5,000 rolls that I did, all Daily Paycheck. And there we go. Against the different ways of playing this thing. Now check this out. Here's the totals. Hopefully you can see this. The odds maker flat. If I just run flat betting, only flat betting, and I only do a little parlay on the win and come back to the flat on the loss, right? No odds, never putting odds up. That thing wins $1,600 over the course of those runs. $25 bets, okay? The progressive odds, which is the way that I actually played it all last month, wins almost $800. So those two are doing pretty good, right? If I do the odds maker with max odds every time, not doing the progressive odds like I do, if I do just max odds like you ought to play it this way, it loses $250 over the course of that month. And the odds maker ladder, Wayland style, okay, this is going to be up a level when you lose, down when you win. It wins $2,400. No odds, just straight up flat betting on this one. So those are the two, right? The flat better with no odds, with a little bit of a parlay. The ladder version does a little bit better because of the ladder coming down. Those two win the most money over the course of the thing, no odds. The odds actually end up in this strategy hurting you a little bit, which is interesting. Waylon was all month on me like, hey, stop playing odds, right? The odds end up being the reason why we win sometimes, but over time, it's why you lose. Now, here's the thing. Let me show you something that's really cool. Because here, and this is a misleading thing. Looking at the dollars is kind of misleading. Check this out. If we go to the check stacks, this is the statistics, okay? And I think I can't make this any bigger. I don't think. Let me see here. Can I? But I don't think I can make the zoom. Can I make it zoom output? Oh, font. I can do larger. There we go. Oh, I can do it. Control. Ooh. Oh my God. Control minus. What happened here? Oh my gravy. What did I do? Wow. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. I lost my mouse. Where's the mouse? Oh crap. Come on, mousy. I can't see it. What happened? Oh my goodness. I'm hitting a bunch of buttons and everything's going crazy. Where's the freaking mouse? I can't even see it. Wow. Okay, it's really going fast. Oh wow, that was weird. Okay, sorry about that. I did it again. I'm hitting the wrong buttons here. Hold on a second. I want you to see the stat. The stats are what's important. Control plus. That's what I want to see. All right. So the odds maker playing with flat bets only, okay, has 30 decisions, right? 66% win rate, 30 decisions, okay? The odds maker with the progressive odds has more decisions. They win or lose more often. Again, about a 66% winning percentage. The odds maker with full odds, more 74 decisions, right? Because the odds are so volatile, the more you're putting out there, you're winning and losing so much faster. So look at that. When you're playing flat betting, 30 times you either win or lose your paycheck. With the full odds, it's 70, it's almost triple, right? How often that happens. With the ladder, it's only 19 times. 5,000 rolls, 19 times you either win 10% or lose 20%. The ladder is such a slow mover. Yes, it wins more money in the end, as you can see here, but look at that. In 5,000 rolls, only 20 times did we either win or lose a paycheck, which is very interesting. So that's, I think, when I look at doing things for long runs at WinCrafts, when I look at these wins and loss rates, this is a thing that is interesting to me. How volatile, or how many times can I get a decision made? And here, again, 5,000 rolls, only the full odds player even got 2 months worth of play out of that, which is very, very interesting. So I thought you'd be curious to see that. It's not just about the total dollars won, it's about how many times you're in the game. And here, this person won $2,400, but they only played 19 times out of 5,000 rolls. This guy over here is playing easily double, it's like 36 times, whatever, double that. So just food for thought. I thought you'd want to see what that looks like in WinCrafts. And I'll do that for the other strategies as well as we create them. And once I settle in on this mob strategy from Dan, that we're doing now, which I'll show you here. Once I settle in on how this one's going to play out, I'll code that up in WinCrafts and we'll do it against all the rolls too, so you can actually see it. Yeah, the full odds actually, it's interesting. The thing with this one here, the difference actually, Jen, of the mob strategy versus the storm is, I'm going to show it to you. Let's go to my table because I think this is an interesting thing to kind of break down. And here's the deal. Ow, shit, let me get over here. Sorry about this. My leg is jacked up. Let's actually look at this at a regular level. Okay, let's take all this crazy money out of here for a minute. And let's just do the smallest possible way. We'll do 44 inside with it, which you can totally do. 44 inside. And $30 in the DC. Okay, now the storm was always get the big don't bet out with odds, right? 10 and 90 or whatever it was. Take your hit, and then you're playing for, you're playing for the long run. You're lowering your bets, playing for the long run. That was the storm. This one here, check this out. When we get up to a number, let's say it's the 9, okay? The idea here is you never come down on the bets. These are always going to stay stable, which is the reason why you can make a paycheck with it, because we're not ever regressing down. With the storm, we would regress down and never make a long run. So we were tying every single time. This one, on roll 1, let's just look at what happened. This is where I think that the magic of the strategy works. On roll 1, let's take one hit. Okay, we're gonna have, by the way, we'll have $3 in our rack. 44, we'll have $4 in the rack, right? 44 there. I'm sorry, 44 inside. That's 50. And that's 80. So $80 per shooter is the way this would work, right? 44 inside, yeah. So on the first hit, it would pay 15 for 1 out of your rack, okay? Now, if you 7 out right now, here's the interesting thing, right? If you get a 7 here, you'd win 30, plus your 30 comes back, you'd lose the 44. Look what we have, 50, 60, 70, 80, right? If you have a PSO, you're even. You didn't lose any money, which is pretty cool, right? I like that. If you have, here's our $20 back. After that first hit, if the point happens to roll, that would suck. You'd lose $30, but again, you'd win, let's just say $15 for $1. $15 on that number. And where are you at? 44, 54, 64, 74, 80. You're also tied, right? If you hit the point or you get a 7 on the first roll, after you get one hit, you're guaranteed to tie. I love that part of the strategy. You're guaranteed to tie after one hit. That's pretty cool. After that, with your $30 up here, again, let's put the $20 back. You win on any other number, $15. You make this look like, you can make it look like, in our case, $25. Okay, put the whole win on the 9. Now the 9 looks like a quarter. That becomes a win. This becomes $30 is a $5 win on a 7. It's a $10 win on a 9. This is a hedge. Then you're scooping money. As many times as you can win, 15, that's profit. After this goal here, you're guaranteed, right? Because you're bringing back $15. Now I got $35, 25, 35. No matter what happens, if a 9 rolls, $35, 50, 60, 70, $80, $15 in profit. Follow me? If the, I forget where I was there, but if the 7 rolls, it's the same thing. You're good either way. After you get this thing pressed up, you're a guaranteed profit. And then it's about how often you can scoop. Scoop, 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 scoop. 5 scoops and you're at goal. So from that standpoint, I like the strategy a lot better than the storm. I like getting one hit guarantees me a tie. Getting 2 hits guarantees me a small win. Everything after that second hit is just marching towards my goal. I think that's great. I don't like the DC, obviously. Getting whacked in there sucks. And you know me, I will find a way to get it. We got whacked twice today and made it back. But I think the strategy's got some legs. I like the first part of it. I like the fact that you're guaranteed, like I said, guaranteed that tie. To me, Dan, is pretty cool. And when you can do that for yourself, It's a one-hit tie, it's a two-hit profit, and you're off and running, right? It's very unicorn-like, except for getting that first bet out. That makes it pretty tough. Okay, that makes it pretty tough. But, we'll see. I got a couple of questions here from people. Let's see, before I jump into the stuff. Arcady says, is that a roll tracker? Yes, WinCraps has a roll tracker now. It's a beta. Yeah, the latest beta that Steam put out over the weekend has the roll tracker across the top, which is super cool. Get YOLO. What happened, Arcades, was I hit Command plus. I'm on a Mac, right? So that's using Parallels. I hit Command plus and it zoomed me into the whole screen and made the mouse microscopic until I undid that. Just me hitting the wrong button. TCS, why would you run a paycheck for a month for breaking even? That means not like, right. You're exactly right. And I think that's what happened with us. So go back a screen. Back here. We broke even, right? This, again, the storm sucked, right? It broke even. The odds maker made a little tiny bit of money, basically broke even. And again, I played it wrong, right? I think what happened with the odds maker, Alfredo, was two things. One is I had two unfortunate days where I really misplayed it, where I just went on tilt and we lost $2,000, right? Where we shouldn't have lost that kind of money. So the win goal and the loss limits were jacked. In this case, we were 12-8. Had we stuck to the regular win goal loss limit rules that we should have stuck to, this thing would have won, I think, 1,800. Would have won 3 times that, which again, not the greatest, but it would have won more. Also, we were playing at a too small level. And I think that's the next point to make here is our bet levels were way too small. You'll notice that today I'm playing with black chips. We're looking to win $1,000 or lose $1,000 every time. This one here, we were looking to win $200 every time. So if you look at this, we actually have 3 units in victory. We're looking at about 250 or so, about 3 units in wins. Again, nothing to write home about, but if we're playing it at the right levels, instead of 640, that's going to be 1,500. That's going to be $4,500, right? There's a difference there when you're and we played it again. I think I played it with incorrect goals and incorrect bet levels. Both things were wrong in the odds maker month. That's why I think 12-8, 60% doesn't seem great. But that win rate can be fine if we had better betting, and we didn't bet it well last month. So I'm going to try it again at some point with the flat bet way of doing it with higher bet levels. We're going to bring it back and try it a different way and see if that works better. So I think take the learnings that we had from this month with it and go back to it. And that will answer, not answer, but that will address your question of why would we have done a whole month to make $600? It ain't worth it. But again, we're betting such tiny units out of that big bankroll. At a $20,000 bankroll, we're betting $25 units. So it's way too freaking small, right? And that's the thing. Try it flat DC. I will do that, Waylon. I'll give it another shot. You saw in WinCraps, I got the 4 players that are playing it. I'm going to do 4 more options on it and give it a shot. I think it's got some legs to it. Like I said, that wouldn't work with the Baccarat, obviously. It's made to do this opposing thing, but there's some different nuance we can do there that I think is actually interesting. And by the way, Waylon's new video with the Baccarat line strategy with the place bets, good stuff. The Baccarat line is one of the reasons why the Red Cross was so strong. Red Cross is strong on its own because the way we play the Iron Cross part of that. But the Baccarat line gives it extra juice. That's a good base strategy, the Baccarat line strategy from Waylon, that you can put to almost any other strategy. Like that thing being the foundational piece of other stuff, that thing kind of wins on its own. I always say like to me, the Baccarat strategy on the line is like 2 players playing. Like I'm playing that, you're playing the Iron Cross. Together we make money. If you think about that as being a separate piece to what you're doing up in the box, it'll make more sense. Anyway, let's get back to it. We got, was it 8:30? I got some more things to say. Let's go talk about gambling. We'll get to the mob next week. We start for real. But I want you to all think through this with me, okay? Let's have a little thought experiment. Let's go and in chat, I want you to predict what I'm saying here, okay? You ready for this? Take this. We've talked about these core principles every day, right? And by the way, if you're watching this on a recording, not watching live with us here in chat, we've got how many people here? 45 people watching. I want you to frame our core principles and put Dan Campbell from the Detroit Lions in your brain when you're looking at this thing. And here's what I'm saying to you, okay? He played that game like a riverboat gambler, okay? And think about all the things we talk about all the time, right? Goals, right? What's the goal that you're going to the table with? It's your North Star, right? It's what pins you to earth. Like, I am putting my foot in the ground. I'm looking to risk $1,000 to win 200 in profit. Strict goal, sticks with you, gives you a reason to be there, right? I think that their goal yesterday is probably win that football game. Yeah? Your strategy, the way you play accounts for the way that you win. Okay, and again, think in terms of your play at the table. I'm going to play the dozens in roulette. I'm going to play whatever, the Dalen Bear strategy in Baccarat. I'm going to play Dan's Mob on the craps table. Whatever that strategy is, it's the way that you're choosing to win your money. All the different strategies will win money at some point. You're choosing with strategy the way that you want that win to happen, and with your bet levels, the way that you want to experience it, right? Your bankroll, though, accounts for the way that you lose. If you think about this in terms of football, right? The strategy played, right? The way that they attacked the game yesterday was great. They had a great game plan going in. The Lions had a great game plan going in. They rocked the first half. They dominated the line. They ran the ball well. They did all the right things. They took advantage of a team that didn't seem like they were all that in at the first part of the game. The Niners were playing ugly, right? And their mindset, right, was the way they connected it all. Like, hey, we are playing with house money. They said it on TV. We're playing with house money. We had nothing to lose. They played that way, right? What happened, though, at the end of the game? What happened? How'd they lose that game? They lost discipline. They didn't stick to their goal. Their goal was to win the game. They didn't stick to their goal. They lost discipline, right? In a moment where they could have kicked a field goal to go up by 3 scores, they chose to go for it on 4th down, right? They did a power press on the craps table on some number when they didn't need to do it. Instead of regressing and locking up a profit like they should have done, like we should do more often probably, they put their foot on the gas too early. It was the wrong time. They were trying to bury the Niners in that moment because they were selling wolf tickets a little bit, right? It was a bad decision. And it was not knowing the moment. It was not being, again, knowledge of the game, one thing. Having game theory, another thing. Logic, math, understanding of variance, right? There was no understanding of variance shown in that game yesterday, right? You take what you got, you make the right call, and you do the thing. Right? They didn't do the thing. And what happened? The variant got them. It was very interesting to me. You watch somebody who is a disciplined defensive mind, right? Who's we're going to just pound you into the ground mentality, go on tilt. And then he did it again, right? The second time they were down there for the field goal, they did it. It went on tilt a second time. Again, breaking discipline. Had a good goal, had a good strategy for the most part, played with house money for the most part. The team had a great mindset. Coach lost discipline, right? Went on tilt. And what happens when you go on tilt, folks? This is what happens, right? It was a perfect example of all this in live in front of you yesterday, right? And I think it speaks to what we've been talking about, which is being focused and having your mind and your brain be the thing that leads you, not here. This doesn't lead you to victory in the casino. Your heart doesn't do it, right? All the vibes and energy doesn't do it. This is what does it right here. All you got is what you brought, and that's this. And you saw yesterday when somebody gives that up, what happens to them, right? With us, what happens to us, it's money out of our pockets, right? In their case, it was a loss of a football game, and you saw what happened. And again, I think it's very fascinating, the correlation between the two. Now, I want to have a quick conversation. And again, I said this is going to be an interactive session today. I'm going to start here, right? Don't be that guy, okay? Don't be that guy or that gal. When I first say that, what does that mean to you? Okay, in the chats, and again, if you're watching this on a recording, you'll enjoy reading the chats here. But in the chats, I want you to put that guy in all uppercase, colon, something. Like you're going to say that guy, like this, that guy, colon, bought in during my role. Okay, put your comments like that, please. Okay, I'd like to know how you would define quote unquote that guy. What is that guy? And why do I care about that? Right? When I am teaching you all these things, right? All the core tenets of how to be a solid player, right? You're going to lose anyway, right? But lose on your terms, not on their terms, is kind of what I'm saying here. When you're that guy, does it impact your losses? Well, it can. Okay, who is that guy? To me, that guy got bad etiquette. Okay, and every game's got its own etiquette. We can talk about etiquette for hours and hours and hours, right? That guy's got a poor demeanor at the table. Lots of ways to define what that is. That guy, generally speaking, is a mental midget. A mental midget. I think we saw some of that yesterday in the football game. Okay, let's move ahead and talk about bad etiquette, right? Again, we could do bad etiquette conversations forever in all the games. I'll give you some examples. In craps, right? You buying in with the puck off. Or, that's when you should buy in. You buy in with the puck on, disrupt the game. Got your hands in the table. You're elbowing people. You're doing all the things that are incorrect at a craps table. That brings the vibe down, brings the energy. You put your chips, stacking them up in somebody's way, right? You're the don't player that's cheering for the 7 when everybody else is making money. Like, bad etiquette brings the juju down. And does bad juju mean losing money? No. But what it does do is it takes you off of focus, right? If you're that guy that's doing all the things wrong, you are not focused on your game. And if you're not focused on your game, you're going to miss a press. You're going to miss a collect. You're going to miss a move. You're going to miss counting your felt to know when it's time to leave. You're going to be missing out on things because you're such an idiot doing other things incorrectly. At the roulette table, like the primary etiquette, right? No reach arounds. Like, know what your bets are going to be. Stand where you should stand so you can get your stuff in the right place quickly and easily without being all over everybody trying to get your bets out there, right? Understand the way the game moves. Okay, in poker, shut your mouth. Don't slow roll your wins, right? Don't pump fake your bets. Don't be a hit and run guy. There's a million more things in poker that are etiquette moves, right? Poker is the game of etiquette, right? There's so much you can do that just wrecks the whole mood, right, of the table. Wrecking the mood in itself is not the worst thing, but what it does to you, I think, takes you off of your game. And like I said, your brain's all you got when you're coming in, and when you're all over the place doing incorrect things, you're not focused. I think if you focus on your etiquette, you're focused on yourself. I think it's an important deal. I think you also ought to know all the order of operations, right? Know the payouts, know the things that happen, right? When are you getting paid? When is it your turn to make a call, make a move, right? You got to know that stuff. You start doing stuff out of order, you're gonna be in a world of hurt. Okay. What else is that guy known for? And again, put your that guy. I'm going to search for that, guys. I'm going to put some of these things up as we go. That guy. Look at all of that guys we have in here, right? There's a lot of good stuff coming in. Poor demeanor, right? Y'all know a bad loser out there? Anybody ever seen a bad loser? Especially at poker, or especially at like blackjack, right? You'll find that games like Bach and Pai Gow, people are, Pai Gow is like a party game. Nobody gives a crap at Pai Gow, right? At a baccarat table, everybody's real stodgy, right? Even mini Bach is still a pretty stodgy, and nobody really gets too bent out of shape when things go wrong, right? At the blackjack table, you get a bad beat at a blackjack table, and people get pissed, right? Especially if somebody else takes a hit when they shouldn't, or doesn't take a hit when they should. Bad losers are like the scourge of a blackjack table. It's one of the worst games, I think, for seeing the asshole come out in people. Worse than almost every other game. Well, maybe not poker. Blackjack is known for this, right? Don't be a bad loser, and don't be a crazy winner either, right? And bad losers and winners on the craps table end up being don't players, right? As much as I love my don't players, they end up being the worst winners and the worst losers. They're just, again, don't be that guy. Don't be Cranky McCrankerson, right? If you're going to bet the don't in craps, don't be a frowny faced jerk at the end of the table. Just have fun with everybody else, right? If you're in a bad mood, by the way, if you're Cranky McCrankerson on the way in, right? Let's say that you're, I don't know, at a sporting event and your team just lost and you're going to go play. You're in a bad mental space. And I think if you're predisposed to be a bad loser or a bad winner, or if you're cranky anyway, you are, again, taking your brain away from focus. And that's an important thing. You cannot ever be not focused out there. Crankiness because of external circumstances takes your focus away, right? If you're crass or rude, you know who I'm talking about, that's a bad thing, right? Again, you're losing your focus. You're taking other people's focus away too, right? If you're the loudmouth, God, we all know that guy or that gal that's super loud and like loud for like no reason. That's annoying. And again, it takes you off of your game. If you're a know-it-all, and I've told you about the know-it-all player that I played with a couple, was last year or something like that. Like the worst example of this, right? This guy at the craps table was a dealer. He was here from Vegas on vacation. And one of our houses here is a break-in casino, basically, right? He is at the table with bets out there, coaching the dealers on like, use your left hand and he's like giving them all, like, dude, like the box, that's their job. Can you let them manage their own freaking staff? But this know-it-all, every single play was telling her what bets to take, where to put the money, how to do it, what to hand off to the box. And it was like, dude, like shut your freaking mouth already, right? And again, he's worried. If you're that guy, please don't be that guy. But if you're that guy, you're worried about all that shit. Are you worried about your own stuff? No. You're off task. You're off task, right? That guy also was a Mr. and Mrs. Right guy. He's the same dude, right? I was playing the Horseman, and he was on my ass all night. Where's your odds? Where's your odds, champ? Where's your odds, champ? Who taught you the game, champ? And I'm like, dude, I got money in my rack, and you and your friend who are playing past line max odds are losing. They both lost money and bought back in again. I made money, right? The way I was playing. Mr. and Mrs. Right are right to a fault. And yeah, you can be right. That might be the best bet, right? But beating a dead horse just sucks the life out of everybody. And again, if you're so focused on getting your rightness out there, you're not focused on you. And I think, again, your brain is a big part of this thing, right? You got to be focused all the time. I think all these things, the poor demeanor, the not playing with good etiquette, takes you off of your game. It takes your focus away, right? If you're a mental midget, again, no discipline, Dan Campbell. You're never satisfied with your win, Dan Campbell. Not satisfied with 3 freaking points, cost you the football game, right? Making bad decisions as a result. Getting yourself and your team unfocused. That's what happened in the football game. How often does that happen to you at a table? I was just talking, I did it last month, right? In the daily paycheck. I was a couple of times very undisciplined, right? I wasn't satisfied with $215 as a paycheck. I had to go for the $250 and I burned $600. I did that twice, right? Where I wasn't satisfied and burned money, right? Poor decision making. Right? You let your brain come out of the game and you're unfocused, guess what? You lose, right? I put myself in bad situations and it can happen in a blink. You're like, 215, I need 240 or 250. We'll go one more time, we'll go out there, right? Burn it. Unfocused, bad decision-making. I would say this, if you're a gambling 101 dropout, this is where you end up. Mental midgetness, right? When you're a mental midget, you are not willing to stick to it. And I think we can all get crushed by this. Alfredo says it a lot in his shows about knowing how to bet. Waylon says know how to bet. Doesn't matter if you can shoot the dice or not, right? If you can shoot the dice, great, fantastic, right? That's all good. But if you don't have discipline, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're never satisfied with your win, you're going to make bad decisions and you're going to be unfocused. And when you're unfocused, you're going to do everything worse. Okay? Don't be a dropout, right? Remember the things. Play by our core principles. Goals, mindset, bankroll, money management, knowledge of variance, understanding the game. Enjoy the game. Don't be a cranky McCrankerson. Don't be a sore loser, right? Get in there and fight the good fight, right? Again, using your brain. Fight the good fight. Listen to your signals. We say this a lot. Your signals being, your hair stands up. I say this a lot. Like when you're in a situation like somebody's behind you and you're about to get mugged. You may not know it, you may not hear it, but your hair stands up, right? That's a signal from your body. You're going to get those signals at a craps table, like or at any game, really. Something's not feeling right. The signal oftentimes is your key. And like, you know what? Let me just pause for a minute. Let me just re-add my money and make sure I know where I am. Okay. Listen to that stuff. Listen to your physical signals. I am at goal. Bye-bye. All right. I say this too. Tip well. This guy tips well. And again, I have a very weird way of tipping, so you don't have to do it my way. But tip well. Your dealers are making very little money as a base. They live on tips. If they're giving you good service, tip well. Sometimes you tip well to get good service. That's kind of how I do it. But be that guy, right? Be a good story. When I tell stories, and I have a million stories, we all do, about idiots at the tables, right? Or things you've seen that your eye rolls, right? Don't ever be that story. Be a good story. Be the story that somebody tells about the guy or the gal that did this amazing thing, right? Be that person. Don't be on my show and have me tell you about the world, about what y'all did, right? Don't be that guy. Be the guy that's a good story. And that's, I think, again, this is all kind of a feel-good message here, but it boils down to the same thing. If you're not this guy, if you're that guy, you're going to lose focus. I don't want you to lose focus. I do not want you to be in this world where you're unfocused and you're making bad decisions because you're not satisfied and you have no discipline. Do not be a mental midget. And I think that all of it, having good etiquette, I think being in the moment, I think understanding all these basic principles, right? A good demeanor and good etiquette, all of that leads you down the road of having, again, it's not a guarantee to win, but you're taking away all the distractions that help you lose quicker. And that's, I think, a big piece of it. Now I want to go back here and look at some of your that guy quotes. Let's see what you all said. I'm going to put some of these things up here. Let's see. MSP Crafts. That guy, see, now you're judging people. Don't be judgy. 30 roller wins $30, right? We can't be judging people for that, right? They're going to do, everybody manages their money differently. Their goals are different, but I hear what you're saying, right? Don't be that guy. That guy puts his late bet in and the dice hit his hand, Jen. And we've all been there. I've been that guy. Chiro was that guy. Remember that story that Chiro told us? Remember that? And they were in Vegas. I think it was for Craps to the Cure that weekend. And he was at a table. He's an Italian, right? Chiro's an Italian guy. We talk with our hands. We do this, right? He's talking with his hands and the guy was on a heater, banged off his hand and caused a 7 and lost everybody at the table a bunch of money. He felt like such crap about that. He felt so bad. Happens, right? His was a mistake. I've done it as a mistake. I forget sometimes, right? Don't be the guy that's always doing that, always dropping the late field bets out there, right? That's yeah, for sure. Victor says, read my above comment. Which one? John, you have expressed spending down your buy-in. If you haven't achieved your goal, you are that guy. There's no house money. Okay, we'll talk about that later. That's actually a different discussion. We'll come back to that in the end. Yeah, Buckeye, that guy rooting for the 7 because you're making deep. Do not be the guy rooting for 7. Okay? You can root for a 7 in your head. You cannot root for the 7 out loud. Like, you're allowed to enjoy your win, but doing that just makes you a douche, right? We don't want to be that guy. That guy, same bet or had no 4 when 9 4s were rolled. Did you roll 9 4s last night? Did you? I think you had, I think Buckeye sent me a screenshot, Alfred. You had like 4 or 5 in a row or something like that, right? It happens. I've been that guy. I have rolled a 50 roller and had not spread out to the 4 and 10 until like they've already hit 3 or 4 times. I've made that mistake, right? I have made that mistake. It just, sometimes you're betting scared, or you're betting to achieve a different goal and you miss out on stuff for sure. Mark the point. That guy bought in for 40 in the middle of my roll. I had 1K on the felt and the next roll, yep, know what happens. Boy, those people are annoying, aren't they? We had that guy moment in Vegas the last time. That dude that was betting, I think Jen was there. Remember Jen, the guy that was giving his girlfriend like $1,000 in cash every single roll, $1,000 for the hard 6, $1,000, and every time they had to count the money out, put the marker on it. It took forever, right? Don't be that guy. Who else? Tom Gregory, that guy argues and stops the game for $1. Yes. Yes, we've all seen that guy. That's going to go nuts over something stupid. Again, it comes down to, that's a poor demeanor thing, right? That is knowing your payouts, and I get it. Knowing your payouts is fine. But you can do that without stopping the whole game. There's a way to get the box man's attention in a craps table and take care of that situation without affecting the whole game. But no, you got to be up here like this with your hand up, and everybody look at me because I'm right, because the VIG was calculated wrong. That happens all the time. And yeah, that bad etiquette takes everybody off their game, right? They're all becoming unfocused, and then you, as that person, go on tilt afterwards. So how many times you see that guy go on tilt, right? It's insane. Let's see. Yes. I think you meant stroked, Jen, but the guy that strokes the dealers and doesn't tip. Brutal. Right? I play sometimes where I've got a lot of bets moving around, but you know me, guys, I tip ahead of time. I pre-tip my dealers, say I'm going to do some stuff. Here's, I give money out of the gate there. But yeah, that's annoying, especially if you're a dealer, right? Let's see. Mark the Point says, that guy, pull my bets down after a good or long roll to base bet. I don't trust the shooter. Some people get mad at me, but you got to manage your investment. I think that's fine. Right? I don't think that's a that guy thing. I think the people that judge the others for how they're betting are a that guy thing, right? Worry about your own bets. You got enough going on out there without worrying about somebody else. Now you can even be at the blackjack table, right? And on a good shoe, you're doing a little up and pull. You got something going on. The guy over here is like same betting the whole time. You can judge them all you want. You're losing out on opportunity on this shoe, right? That person might be brand new and not know. They might be practicing something. They might be practicing their card counting and just same betting it to see if they got the count right. You don't know what program they're on. Let them go. Let them go. Yeah. Jen has tossed that guy $1 to shut up. I've seen Jen a couple of times in that situation, give that guy $1, like, shut your damn mouth, right? And here it goes. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, that's all that guy things that I'm seeing here. Let's see. Victor says, just because you can't keep the craps between your ears in check doesn't mean you are that guy. It is subjective and divisive. I don't know, man. What I'm saying to you is this. I'm not saying to be divisive for the table. I'm saying for yourself, Victor. So I'm talking to you as not you, but people as a person, right? If you are not able to keep the crap between your ears under control, it's not that you're divisive or divisive to the table, it's you're taking yourself off of focus. That's where I'm coming to, right? Yeah, it's being subjective, but if you take yourself off task at all, the time you come off task for even a second and you're back, things have changed, right? And you are about to make a bad decision. And I don't want you to take your bad demeanor, your bad etiquette, and turn one of these things here into a bad decision on your part, or take somebody else off task and have them now looking around and making a bad call. That's ultimately what happens, right? Is those little bad decisions, they add up over time, and it ends up costing you money. That's what the whole point of this conversation is, guys. Be this guy. Be a not a mental midget. Keep yourself under control and do the things that keep you, again, engaged and focused. I can't really stress that enough because, again, it's on display all the time. Whenever you're not focused, you make bad calls. I do it all the time. I've done it in front of you now for 3 years. There are days where I get and turn into a mental midget. I make a bad call. It happens, right? Make a bad call, make a bad decision, not satisfied, and I blow it all, right? And I do it in front of you, not because I'm trying to teach you what it looks like. It's like, shit, I just did that, and now we can talk about what an idiot I am, right? Those things I think are important. So there it is. Yes, Red Eye has got it locked in. Have fun. It's only a game. It's only a game, and it's a game you're probably going to lose, ultimately, right? We have to enjoy our time there. And I think doing the good etiquette things, right? Doing the things that make you this guy, increase your enjoyment. It makes the experience better for you. And again, you reduce the bigger edge a casino may have over you to something more manageable when you're not giving it up, right? Hope that makes some good sense. So You don't want to be a Karen, says Vic. Not my place, John. Well, you know what? I have the microphone. It is my place. I get to tell you, I get to say whatever I want to. That's on my show. I'm not trying to be a jerk, Victor, obviously. I'm telling you, I think when you are doing wrong things, you will make bad decisions. That's what I'm telling you. That is psychology 101. When you're in a bad headspace, you will make bad decisions. That is given fact. And you don't have to like me saying it, but that is the truth. And that's just that's the way of the world, man. That's the way your brain works. I'm trying to help you and everybody else make better decisions and keep yourself focused, right? Make good decisions. Don't be a sore loser. Fight the good fight. Listen to your signals. Be a good story. And that's what it's got to be. Be a good story. All right. Let's, I think it's at 9 o'clock. There was something else Victor said earlier, but I don't have that. Is there a PC on that one? Let's go to our question screen. Make sure that I can see it here. I don't think he did it. I don't think. PC equals cranky. Yes, I am. I am so cranky. Look, my wife and I almost didn't get married because of what a terrible football fan I am. Not hand to God. I only recently, last 10 years, can she watch football with me because I am such a cranky McCrankerson watching football. I get so into it. That's why I say I'll never be a sports bettor because I know all the things I said to you about ways to get in your own head and make bad decisions. I can't sports bet unless I'm betting on like European soccer or something I don't care about because that I have a data model for. Here, no way. My intuition is terrible in football. I'm a fan. I like to get angry and throw shit around. It's just me. Yep. Let's see. PC, trust me, people make fun of the field players. I hear you there. You shouldn't make fun of field players. I do only because we're all friends, right? Like there are people who I know are field players that I like to toss some shade at sometimes, but they toss shade at me too, right? It's a fun give and take. I don't really make fun of them. Like, I don't really feel that way, like you're an idiot. It's fun to shoot back and forth here on the shows, but really, judging somebody else's play style isn't our place. Let them play their way. You never know what somebody's doing. You never know what their buy-in was for. If they're trying something out, buying in for $250 and playing something really small that's not the way you would play it. Again, somebody might be testing something and just trying some things out, getting a feel for the game or getting a feel for a strategy without putting a bunch of risk. That's totally fine, right? I don't judge anybody for how they play because you never know what's going on. I do that a lot. I'm always out there doing things. Small little bets, trying shit out to see what the feel is before I go and put real money behind it. So I think it's something we really shouldn't do. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Oh wow, Victor, really you're gonna call me out? I can't find your comments, dude. You know how hard it is to find the comments. Put PCs in front of things. I need you to see them. I don't know why you're so fired up today, Victor, but you're for some reason. John's not the guy to, okay, now we're going to have a John versus Victor fight. John's not the guy to preach discipline because he goes on melt so often. I melted down like a handful of times. That's fine. You can say what you want. Let's see. Someone should point out that not having a loss in for your buy makes you that guy. And again, you obviously don't listen to me. So we're not going to have this conversation. And again, I'm talking to you one-on-one. You don't listen to me. So when we have this win goal loss limit conversation, you clearly are unable to hear words come out of somebody's mouth and understand what that person is saying. I explained this last week 5 days in a row. 5 days in a row I explained it, what the win goals are, what the loss limits are, how they work, and what the levels are going to be. And if you're not going to listen and pay attention to what I say, you don't get to make comments like that. Like I revoke your privileges to make dumbass comments because you don't listen. Okay, so with that said, either it's a 10% win goal and a 20% loss limit, or it's a full loss with the same unit size. Again, we're talking about units, not dollars, but you, Karen, don't seem to understand that. So you are definitely being a troll, and Jen's right, ease up. Basic math, okay, you want to, boy, oh boy. You know what, we're gonna stop. Before I say something I'm gonna regret, we're gonna stop the show because I'm suppressing an expert. You're an expert? Good, you're an expert. Again, you don't listen. I don't know what else to tell you, Victor. When I have a small loss goal and a small win goal, you get a realm of outcomes. When you start tinkering with it too much, the variance becomes too big. And again, 5 units to win X, whether the unit sizes are $100 or bigger money, it doesn't matter. But you can't seem to get basic math figured out. So with that said, Victor, I will see you all tomorrow. Reread, rewatch last week's shows, and before you come at me with an unintelligent comment like that, know what you're talking about. And with that said, guys, I am out. Y'all have a good day.